Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog, Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott! I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me sometimes, but always in my life, is my wife, Mary. How are you today?
I'm good, Timothy. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Mary, you're not really drinking anything today. But
No, I'm not. I
no.
had a sip of seltzer,
That's good.
if that counts.
It counts.
Okay.
It counts.
I don't like beer, everybody. I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. I am drinking a Jack's Abbey lager. It is delicious. It is light, and it is wonderful. Nice purple can. Anyway, we're not really here to talk about beer because you don't really like beer. We're here to talk about something that is very important to you and me, the PBS special, Free to Be, You and Me. No.
I do like PBS.
Yeah, no, we're not here to talk about that at all. We're here to talk about the remake of The Lion King that Disney just released, which we just saw approximately
Like an hour ago, 2 hours ago?
3 hours ago.
3 hours
It
ago?
started 3 hours ago, pretty much where we are.
It started like that.
Actually, well, yeah, because there was a kid behind us.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right.
That sang it right before Lava M sang it, thus ruining the moment of the pretty sunset
Behind me.
completely. Ugh, little kids in the movie theater, man.
It was rough. It was rough. And I'm usually like very patient with kids in the movie theater. Wow, it's a kid's movie. Parents want to take their kids. There's one kid who was just crying the whole time.
The whole time.
Literally the whole time. And there was like one lady who was like, "Hey," next to me. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You know, like, it was like, okay, yeah, it's like time to escort your child out, and it's too late. Let's go home.
That's right.
Like,
Look, when spoilers for The Lion King for all of them, but like when Mufasa's about to die and your kid's like, "Wah!" Like, and it's not related to Mufasa's death at all. Get that kid out of here.
yeah, they were crying before the movie.
I know. Yo, 20 minutes before the movie.
It was like the
that
popcorn commercial, and they were crying.
Oh my god. I know. I mean, I don't really need quiet when a hot dog is singing, but when the trailer, but when the trailers start, that's the important
I know.
bit.
I was like, I gotta hear this Mulan trailer.
I know. I got to hear this Mulan trailer. I got to scoff at this Maleficent trailer.
Oh, don't get me started. Do you want to give me like free reign for like a hot second?
No, because I actually want to come back to Maleficent
Okay.
in the middle of our Lion King conversation.
Okay, he's got a plan.
So what did you think of the Lion King, this remake?
So first of all, I love The Lion King, as do all millennials, because if you're a good millennial,
You
you grew up with The Lion King, it was one of your favorites, whatever. So I've always loved The Lion King, but it was beautiful, first and foremost. Beautiful looking. And like me, so for folks who don't know, my degree is in wildlife biology. I've watched a lot of nature documentaries over the years, and just love observing wildlife. And looking at this, I'm like, wow, they really took a good look at wild animals, how they move, how they're built. Like you could see the veins in the lion's like legs.
I saw that in
and
Sarabi. You could see like the veins on one paw.
yeah,
at one point.
all the muscles, the claws, you could see the ribs and like the way they're breathing. And so they really took a lot of attention to detail, not just on the lions, but on like all the animals. I thought it was like beautiful. However, like the story, the music, everything, it was just flat.
It was flat.
It was so flat.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because like I said this to you in the movie, well, after the movie, but I said Disney was in a real tough place. Like if let's say they didn't have a choice and they were going to make it, because you could say option 3, you didn't have to make it at all, but you did it anyway. But they did anyway. So their choice after making it was either change some things and upset people because like, why would you change something that is perfect? Or don't change really anything, which they did, and it was dull. And it did not have it did not have a heart or feeling. It was like watching a nature documentary where they talked, which
Yeah.
is cool for about 10 minutes, and then the effect wears off on you.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, where's the story? Like, and I
mean,
said
the story's there.
The story is there.
It.
Yeah, no.
The story's there.
But I think what I said to you when we walked out of the theater, I feel like the cartoon, like the 2D cartoon from 1993 or whatever, 94, 93, 92. I don't know when it came out. Whatever. I was a baby. But when it came out, like that felt richer than this did. Even the score, like, and Hans Zimmer did the score, and I was so sad because it was like this very subdued score, and like there's, Labo M singing at the beginning of Circle of Life, and I love Labo M. His voice is beautiful. It's so robust, and that was about all of the singing, like the background choral pieces that we got. Like there was no, like the music wasn't really like African influence. I didn't feel like that South African vibe that you get from the cartoon, which like so
Hans
rich.
Zimmer took his own melodies and kind of stripped them back. He stripped his orchestrations back, maybe by direction. I would assume by direction. It's somebody's decision. Jon Favreau's the director or producers, whatever, to say, let's go in a different way here. But there was music when there shouldn't have been. And then when you needed the score to swell in some particular way, it was like, and where are you?
It was very minimalist. It's like maybe it's like,
yeah,
it's 2019. Everything's minimalist now.
Yeah,
right?
maybe,
like,
but
I don't know.
but even the heart of the film felt minimalist. Like many of the actors or the characters were like saying the right things and doing what they were supposed to do, but nobody felt anything.
It was very like you said, like nobody's feeling anything, but like the lines, like the way I'm talking right now, that's how all the lines came out.
Kind of.
There was no spark,
And I think, I think there are a couple of reasons for that. One, Disney backed themselves into a corner by making it a completely realistic looking film, because now the animals can't emote the way that they should to complement the lines, because they look real. But even like a cat's face doesn't emote the way that we even see like a dog's face emote, or even Rafiki could remote. Like you had a deeper connection to, like you could have a deeper connection to Rafiki in the parts that you have because he's a primate.
Yeah, he was like my favorite part of the whole thing, because he had that like soul of the original.
But his face emoted in a way that a cat's doesn't in real life. So it's just like you have as a human being, you have a connection to him that you wouldn't to the cat. But anyway, but the actors, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are used to playing around with their face. They're not voice actors. Yeah. And so I said to Jen, our friend that we saw it with, it's like watching a play or a movie where everyone's wearing a mask, where they can't they can only use their voice and the mask shows nothing.
Like the musical, the Lion King musical. That's like so
that's
vibrant.
Not the same.
And
that's their faces. It's like watching like V for Vendetta, but everybody wears the V mask.
Very true. Yeah.
All over the place, and you could only rely on the voice, because that's what voice acting really is, but in the booth. But most of them couldn't do it, and so with that, plus it looking realistic, everything felt very slow.
It did actually, yeah. It was very slow.
Like when the stampede came down and everything, I was like, you could get out of that, no problem. You could get out of that. That's my first thought when like Mufasa's about to die. I'm like, you just move to the side.
He could have just stayed on the side.
There's no danger. There was no like kinetic energy in the film, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like everything feels like slow motion. And then there were bits where there were slow motion and they felt really slow.
Yeah, like when the antelope are leaping and you're like, wow, that's so pretty.
Right.
But it was like,
because
it's
looked
pretty.
But it's like it would be like watching Planet Earth. Right, or any Richard Attenborough documentary where they're moving at David, not Richard. Yeah, they're moving at they're moving at a regular pace, but that doesn't help the movie at all, because you're like, okay, let's just get
it felt very slow.
Get very slow,
sleepy, almost like sleepy.
Sleepy. Yep,
yeah.
I agree.
I think that And I'm even thinking we're saying like the stage musical, like one of my favorite musicals of all time. Why? Because they took the cartoon and they amped it up for the stage. Obviously, because you're taking a cartoon, making people play lions on stage and whatever. So you have to kind of be a little over the top. But they added music in. Like there's a whole sequence like at the beginning of the second half of the show where it's just like regular people in like this like colorful African dress and they like sing and they've got this like awesome song. And it's just like, oh yeah, it gets you like into the groove of it. And I wish that there was more of that like in the background music and it had more like vibrant.
Well, that goes two ways because the musical plays up the African root, like the African
roots. Yeah, I like
geological
the roots.
roots of the story.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, no, it is, but like the play, because it's done like they are people. They're supposed to be tribes, right? They're not really playing lions. They're playing tribes that like worship the lion. That's always been my read on it. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like they're wearing a mask. They're wearing a headdress. You know what I mean? Like they're still,
I never got that.
Yeah. I always kind of felt like they were still people, and so
or they're people putting on a story,
or something like or
telling a story. They're people telling a story,
something like that, where they don't try to hide the fact that they're people, and a cartoon is a cartoon. So this like goes and makes it a nature documentary with music, but because of that, none of it plays.
Well, I thought that they were going to do like. So if you've seen the Jungle Book, when they did the Jungle Book, I think they did mocap on all of the faces of the actors.
I think they did that for this too, because the Jungle Book was basically a trial run for
this.
For the Lion
okay,
King.
yeah, because this didn't feel like anybody's face emoted anything. In the Jungle Book, I was like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" It was like the orangutan King Louis. It's like, God, it's Christopher Walken. Like that was kind of creepy. I could have done without that. But Ooby doo,
I want to be
like you.
I don't know. See, if you go, so there was the trailer for the Cats musical before this, right?
Oh my goodness!
And it was like that was horrifying,
creepy.
Because, that's because they looked like cat people with the face of Judi Dench or Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah,
not Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, not Vanessa Hudgens. Vanessa. Oh my gosh. Hudson. Jennifer Hudson.
I started
oh my
the
gosh,
Vanessa, and that was
Hudson.
Wrong. Yeah, or Ian McKellen or James Corden or right. I know. And you're like it just looks very strange.
It was like this weird like creepy.
Yes, they're weird creepy cats.
Circus cat.
That's right. They're weird creepy cats. That's the whole point of it's a weird show, and I don't like it. That's not really the point of us being here. But if Disney went that route with the Lion King, that doesn't work either.
I feel like it's Beyonce's face on a lion.
Right.
Why? Some people may like that. I don't know.
No, I was disappointed. I think the more I think about it, the more disappointed I become. And and I love the Lion King. It's not my favorite. I love The Lion King. Even the Broadway show, I love Circle of Life, and after that, it kind of takes a dive for me. Not like a movie, like a dive like
Can't
this.
Be married anymore.
Yeah, but like it's good, but I don't know. It's just like it doesn't play well. It doesn't play well for me. I don't know. I'm not sure why. But here they almost like tried to pretend that they weren't even making a musical. Or
the music was all the songs were subdued.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I guess they had to be, right? Because it looked real. Because they looked like real animals. So I can't wait to be king if all of a sudden they're like making bug eyes and the colors all background and like weirdly psychedelic and stuff. That doesn't work.
Yeah, that one was probably the most like bouncy of the songs. Like Be Prepared was barely a song.
I agree, but I don't think that Be Prepared works.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have.
Like with all the hyenas goose stepping.
Like
that wouldn't play in this little world. Right. So I kind of liked Be Prepared, and I Can't Wait to Be King was fun. Actually, they incorporated some of the original choreography from the film into their real movement, so I kind of enjoyed that. But the rest of it doesn't play.
Yeah. Hakuna Matata was just like, wah, wah.
Yeah, some of their back and forth was very good. I'm not sure, but you could tell that every actor recorded by themselves. Maybe except for some of the hyenas and and Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
Everybody else felt like they were solitary. Nobody was there talking to them.
Yeah.
And some actors are, I don't want to say more accomplished, but maybe more accomplished and they could handle something like that. James Earl Jones has plenty of practice.
Yeah.
Like recording in a booth by himself and emoting. Darth Vader, his previous take on Mufasa.
Yeah. He was my favorite. The whole thing. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
James Earl Jones.
Somebody, it might have been Jon Favreau, did an interview where it was like they were talking about getting James Earl Jones back. And so why did you get him back as opposed, because everybody else got recast. And, it's a part of it is the voice. It's hard to pick anybody else for that part, and if he's still available. But with him being older, he sounds more wise than he sounds wiser than he did even before, because he's a king, like on the end of his reign. Like he's learned a lot by, he's tired and he's, so it adds more gravitas than he even originally had.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool and true, I think.
Yeah.
And Chiwetel Ejiofor did an amazing job as Scar.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was
menacing.
actually my favorite part of the movie, because I love Scar. I like that character, and Jeremy Irons is fantastic. And I really didn't think that anybody could match up to that the way that it would be hard to get anybody but James Earl Jones for Mufasa. But he was real scary.
He was like Shere Khan in the Jungle Book. Shere Khan
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba, and he was excellent too.
Spooky.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, credit to John Favreau for getting the villain down correctly each time. Each big cat, scary villain, whatever. But yeah, that was it. And then I think the hyenas were good. I liked the hyenas. They actually felt a little bit more threatening here, a lot more threatening in this version than they do in the cartoon. They're played more for the comedy.
Yeah, the kids. I think that like the subduedness of this worked towards Scar, because it was just this whole time you're like on the edge of your seat, like he's so like quiet and subdued, and it's like that like quiet menace that's like you know what I mean, like if you're I don't know, like, oh, when's he gonna like take a swipe at him, so it's very
that's a good point. Well, so if you took out the music from the film, like the song, like the the songs with lyrics, does this movie play better? Like if they're not trying to dance around some of the music, but they all kind of played it in a bit of a darker, more mature way, is the movie better? Or is it still kind of missing something?
I think it's still kind of missing something. What I felt like, one thing that like struck me, I think because they were trying not to do too much with it, but they were trying to update it at the same time. So like when they're eating all the little grubs and stuff, and Timon goes, "Oh, this is so umami," and I'm like, ugh, it's just like we're trying to be like modern. It's 2019, picking up on like things that like fads right now.
Oh, right.
It felt like it was like playing to the fads.
It's because he said, "Oh, this is organic."
And are these local? Oh yeah, they just came from right here. You know what I mean?
Right, they're from right here. That was funny.
It was funny, but it's like you're playing to the fad of right now.
Yeah, you didn't like Timon and Pumbaa, but I enjoyed Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, but like I don't know if that'll hold up well 10 years from now.
No, probably not. Well, I mean, sometimes a fad is around to stay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I can watch The Lion King and not say like the cartoon and not be like
dated.
It's not dated. It's like funny every time. Like the funny stuff is funny.
But here's the thing. You could watch the original Aladdin and look at some of Robin Williams' jokes, which are very dated in that film.
Some of them are, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe it. I'm losing to a rug. Who makes Rodney Dangerfield jokes anymore? Like,
but yeah, true. So yeah, but like,
or Jack Nicholson jokes. He does a Jack Nicholson impression in that movie too. Yeah, okay, Sparky.
Oh,
here's
Sparky.
the deal.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But that, I mean, those are dated.
But like, I didn't know that until just now.
Okay,
you know what I mean. But I still find it funny.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
So this movie for children, will they still find it funny? Because this movie is for children.
Yeah, I don't.
Or will you still find a joke about organic meat funny in 10 years, just like the way you find a joke about Jack Nicholson funny 20 years later?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, Timothy.
In 10 years, we'll wait and see. But
I'll watch it again.
yeah, I don't know. What really ground my gears on this film, I think more than anything, was Simba's like, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be king and stuff. And I saw my dad via lightning-ish thing in the clouds because this is quote unquote the realistic version.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't have real ghost dad in the
In the
sky.
cloud.
We just had to have
You have to
cloud
watch it.
shapes. Yeah, so.
I was like, is he in there? Like,
That
where's
scene was still
Mufasa?
good.
Yeah.
That scene was still good.
Yeah, it was good.
I actually really, at the beginning of the film when Rafiki didn't have a staff, I was like, because it's a realistic, I get it.
Yeah.
And then he pulls it out of the tree, and I was like, yes, there it is.
Yeah.
Because he's a primate, and he can use tools. I get it. I get what you're doing there. Anyway,
It's just in his closet.
basically, his closet hole. You gotta get me one of those. Closet hole.
Just like, pull up a floorboard.
Yeah.
I'll get working on that.
Yeah. That lion hair made it a really long way. Like,
Oh man, yeah, that was like the dung beetle. Well,
And
it starts like off of Simba, and then like because he picks up in the cartoon. I was like, what is going on here? In the cartoon, it's like little like pieces of grass that float on the wind.
That's right.
That he picks up, and he's like, and he sniffs it.
Yeah,
and he's like,
I guess technically that went a long way too. So I guess the hair actually makes more sense.
But they gave it more of like a little story. Like it gets eaten by a giraffe, it gets pooped out. The dung beetle rolls it into dung. The dung falls off of the little embankment.
And then a bird picks it up, puts it in a nest, and then the other bird is like, I don't like this. Get this out of
Yeah,
here.
the female bird was like, no,
No.
get this out of my house.
Yeah, felt familiar to me. Yeah.
Pick up this dust.
No, it felt more like, from like, look, I got this nice lamp. And you're like, that's a terrible lamp. Get this out of here. Return that.
Some of his lamps, everybody, I will tell you, they
Look,
made their way
I'm
to the
sorry,
basement.
you don't like the color orange or Charlie Brown. No, I'm sorry.
Well, it literally looks like Charlie Brown's T-shirt. It's now in the
It's not
basement.
actually Charlie Brown. It's just the lampshade looks like his T-shirt design. That's not important. What's important is that that light is up for sale if anybody wants it.
So the fluff, the little tuft of
The
lion
tuft
hair.
of fluff.
Okay,
I
we'll
lost
ground
my,
your gears.
I lost my. Oh, so Simba is ready to go back, and he's like, "I am Simba, son of Mufasa," and he really should have been like, "And I am king" or something like that, but he didn't. Neither here nor there.
Whatever.
And he starts running, and then this really lame song from Beyonce came on,
Spirit.
and I was.
Spirit, something about the great I am. And I was like, is this a Christian rock song?
That's what I thought too. Be the great I am, and I was like, "The what?" I'm sorry.
I was very confused. I was like, I don't understand
No,
what this.
'cause
You couldn't
that-
really understand the lyrics, and it was just like this blasting, like Beyonce's got
it didn't,
nice pipes.
It did
but,
not
like,
fit into. It didn't fit into the scene or the like. The style of music is totally different from everything else in the film.
It was
And
like
then,
poppy.
right? And then you completely miss out on Hans Zimmer's themes, like majestically coming to fruition. You hear bits of them through the movie, and they're kind of supposed to all play in that moment, and instead we get like something somebody wrote like in a bathroom stall 10 minutes before they had to record. Like,
I feel like Beyonce's voice, they were showcasing her voice, put it in the credits, or have her sing Shadowland, because that would have been awesome.
right.
Like, I like Beyonce. I think she's very talented, but I think they just like wasted her talent on this random song that didn't really fit
Completely
in with the movie.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, and it's really a shame because she and Donald Glover sing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight," which was very very lovely, even though it was the daytime. Whatever.
But yeah, it wasn't actually nighttime. I was like, it's the evening. It's dusk.
It's not even dusk.
It's a crepuscular song.
It's not. It's just the daytime. Although they did do a smart thing and did not do that weird, like those weird close-ups or medium close-ups of the lions when they're like Simba and Nala when they're staring at each other intently. And then Simba goes down. You're like, whoa, all right, feeling the love tonight. I understand.
Yeah, this is a kid's movie.
Yeah, they skirted over that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, they just kind of like sat next to each other on a nice rock, and they're like, "Wow, look at this view."
Wow,
Let's snuggle.
It's nice up here on the rock.
Yeah,
I did like the extra animal friends.
I did. I always like the little critters. I liked this in the Jungle Book too. The little side critters, they're cute.
I don't remember the side critters from the Jungle Book.
There's a pangolin
at all. I believe you.
What
I
is
just
it?
don't
It's a man
believe
cub,
them.
man cub, man cub.
Nope, I really don't remember that at all. But I believe you. And I think when the film did go in a different direction, it was way more interesting. Even if it wasn't a completely different direction, but say like when right before Be Prepared, when the hyenas are complaining about Scar, and we see they're complaining about Mufasa, and Scar comes up, and we see them make a deal with him. So like the hyenas feel like their own thing, and Scar isn't really randomly their leader for no reason. Yes,
there was like some nice like explanations for things.
Yeah.
I guess if I like,
no, I guess
I see that how that
is
connects.
good.
Yeah.
Even Scar wanting Sarabi to be his queen, so the lions would kind of fall in line. Things like that, I was behind. Or even that it alludes to that Scar got his Scar, probably his name, from Mufasa, because Scar has already challenged Mufasa and lost, and so he's doing it again. Stuff like that. Really interesting. I kind of wanted more. I wanted more of that. If you had seen if this was The Lion King for the first time for somebody, do you think it's a successful film?
Oh gosh, that's really hard to say. I would probably say yes. Yeah, I would say yeah.
Because
if you're not biased,
this is a bit of a it's a bit of a biased thing here, but I don't know if that's all the time on the Disney remakes, because I wasn't biased against Cinderella or even Aladdin, which I quite enjoyed.
I enjoyed Aladdin,
and I like Aladdin the movie too, and it was fun. This wasn't that there were two different tones going on. There was like, I'm going to make a serious version and try to adhere to. I'm going to make a serious version and try to adhere to the cartoon's likeness at the same time, and it just didn't strike the balance the correct way. The likeness felt awkward at times. Yeah, it didn't. It never really fit together. What didn't feel awkward was their version of Lion Sleeps Tonight, because it set you up. You're like, oh, this is fun. It's like Timon and Pumbaa, and they're singing, and then like all the other little animals kind of join in, and you're like, oh, I'm getting into groove. And then Nala attacks, and you're like, bah! Yeah, how'd that happen? Ah. That was excellent. Yeah, that was fun. So my question, going back to Maleficent, so Maleficent is an excellent example of going in a completely opposite direction, because the Lion King, you could say, is adhering too closely, and Maleficent is going out in left field. Way out in left field. It's so far past left field, we're actually now inside a soccer field. We're not even... We changed sports. We're not even playing baseball anymore. Now we're playing soccer. What's happening? It's a different season, people. And I gave it a chance, and I'll tell you guys, like, Sleeping Beauty is my favorite of the Disney princess movies. Right. Because the artwork is beautiful, the music is beautiful, I like the fairies. It's great. And the villain's great, she's scary. If they had taken Angelina Jolie and plopped her in as Maleficent in a Sleeping Beauty movie that was true to the original, like when they took Beauty and the Beast, and they made some changes, whatever, but it felt like Beauty and the Beast. And Cinderella, although it's very different from the cartoon Cinderella, which I love, don't get me wrong, but it still had that same warmth and charm, and Lily James just makes everything wonderful. But they took it in a little bit of a different direction, but in a good way. They made it fresh, but not trying to like play with the fad. Yep. It was still Cinderella. It still felt distinctly Cinderella. It was just these creative licenses, like, this is how we're going to make her dress look, or this is how the little like pieces of like scenes with the prince, like that, it kind of fleshed out the story a little bit more. Expansion, exactly. Not abandoning anything that is very important. However, Maleficent abandons. Oh my god, they like trashed it. They trashed it. Yeah, the fairies are stupid, and they trashed a great villain, I think. Yeah. Yeah, because the fairies are literally stupid. They're incompetent. They have no idea what they're doing. And Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather they're kind of incompetent in the.
They're incompetent, but they're useful. Well, they're incompetent in the human world. They're like, I don't know how to make a cake from scratch because I know how to make a cake by magic. But I'm learning how to be like a human person. And hiding the fact that I'm a fairy. But like when the time comes and they got to step up and like actually help, they're like, yeah, we're gonna like shield Philip, and we're gonna give you this like sword that's gonna kill the dragon. Like they do stuff. They actually get stuff done. And in the live action one, they're like, we don't know what we're doing. We're terrible parents. and then like Maleficent like creeping in on the baby and like having the like she's like a old flame of the king and like, it's
very strange.
Oh, and then it's just like it was just an excuse for Disney to be like, we have a badass female villain who's like strong and independent, and like she has cool outfits with like bird bones and like jaw bones, and I don't know what that's all about, but it's like Huntress
fierce.
chic. I don't know.
Fierce.
Yeah, she's really good at taking natural artifacts and forming them into rock star clothing.
All right, so would you say The Lion King is more successful than Maleficent?
Oh yes.
But would you say The Lion King is more or less successful than Beauty and the Beast?
I think Beauty and the Beast is more successful. And I wasn't too crazy about it.
No, me either. And I think Beauty and the Beast is a little bit better because there's still a warmth to Beauty and the Beast that doesn't exist in The Lion King. And I think that's actually the biggest fault of the film, because apart from some of the flat acting, because they're acting with their like your face will be mo-capped, and like, but don't, you really needed voice actors. And then
now the Jungle Book, here's the thing though, the Jungle Book had
you follow.
one human. Actually, they had a few humans because they show Mowgli like as a little
right.
boy, whatever. But Mowgli adds like the warmth to it, if that makes sense. It's not just watching a CGI cartoon.
That's correct. Yep.
This just maybe it's the CGI that makes it feel like cold.
Maybe, yeah, because
I don't know.
you can tell there's nothing there, as opposed to, I don't know. That's why I say like Marching with Penguins or whatever like works, because they're real, and so even if the story is fabricated by editing and narration, like they're real, so you feel something for them. Although I did still feel something when Mufasa died.
My gosh,
I cried. It was almost macabre in a way that you're like, that's very real. Though it's shot slightly differently, so like you're a little bit further away from how horrible it is until Simba lies down, and that's when I lost it.
I
was
you cried?
Yeah.
You cried?
Yeah, very silently. Didn't want to be like the kid in the back.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So anyway, one last thought on Lion King. Anything?
One last thought. I would say it's like not like a horrid movie. I think
it might be
like
I think it would be worth watching just to satiate your curiosity.
Yeah.
But
it was very pretty. And the Mulan, so I'm glad that they showed the Mulan trailer, because the Mulan trailer looks gorgeous.
Well, I think Mulan hopefully sits in that Cinderella category where it's like, yeah, this is the story, but we're going to do some stuff with it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really look like, this is not a shot-for-shot remake. Which actually, The Lion King, unfairly, is also not a shot-for-shot remake. You know, like it's the opening sequences.
Circle of Life. I was like, wow, I've seen this before. But
yeah, but the opening sequences, but the rest of it mostly seems fresh. There's some maybe key shots that stick in people's minds, but there's some
the
stuff
fight
they
between
didn't
Simba
do
and Scar
was excellent.
That was
cool.
Like
Actually,
the slow mo, but I needed the music.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
Music.
It wasn't there. Maybe it was at theater. Maybe we should just watch it at home and just like pump the sound.
I'm gonna have to like listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, see if it's there.
To it. Yeah.
But anyway, so and
your
that's
final thought. Sorry,
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think I said it. I think it's worth seeing because it's pretty, but it's I wouldn't expect much from it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should IMAX 3D. Maybe that would feel better. I don't know.
Maybe that's why it looked flat. Maybe it's meant to be seen in 3D.
Maybe. I mean, I actually saw The Jungle Book in 3D, and it really added a very immersive experience. And so, but I usually don't like 3D.
It makes me dizzy.
Yeah, so maybe this would be worth watching in 3D. So, all right. Well, anyway, you can find us on beerwithgeeks.com and Gmail and Facebook and Twitter. You can rate and review Beer with Geeks and all of the Thought Bubble audio shows on iTunes, and find us other places podcasts can be found. You can go to thoughtbubbleaudio.com to check out all of the Thought Bubble audio shows, and head over to patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio to support all of the shows.
Sounds like he's on like an infomercial or something.
Well, I mean, it's for our own shows, but I've said them so many times now that it's not. I hate saying it.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but there you go. Well, anyway, Mary, until next time.
Thanks, Timothy.
Cheers.
Cheers.